I could tell you that the new image model from OpenAI, GPT Image 2.0, delivers some pretty wild results in certain areas. Like here in Scene 1, compared directly with Nano Banana 2 in the lower left and Nano Banana Pro in the lower right, where it literally comes down to the fine print and to handwriting. This example shows pretty quickly where GPT Image 2.0 is strong: details, text, authenticity, and reasoning. And compared to that, honestly, I did not expect this at all. Google's Image AI, especially Nano Banana 2, suddenly looks almost a bit too basic. Quick side note, if you want the prompts to try them yourself, just write it in the comments. I could also go on about Scene 2, where GPT Image 2.0 really digs into the tiny details, and even generates the right content on its own, creating some seriously impressive posters. Whether it is a concept for the National Baseball League or the latest blockbuster movie, you can clearly see how the Nano Banana versions almost feel a bit flat next to it, and how much care and attention OpenAI's image model puts into the title and the footer lines. Spelling is also handled on a completely different level with GPT Image 2.0. I could talk about realism. In Scene 3, the task is about recreating historical figures, with the right language, the right writing, the right positioning of the people, and the right level of detail. In short, prompt adherence. If you know the original prompt, you'll notice that Nano Banana takes a few liberties here and there that were not really asked for. One very simple example: the prompt clearly says that 2 people are sitting and 2 people are standing behind the sofa. Not sort of half sitting, half standing, somewhere next to it, behind it, or whatever that is supposed to be. GPT Image 2.0 is also the only model that managed to make the writing feel more like actual handwriting, even though the prompt explicitly asked for that. I could also talk about reasoning, basically the ability to actually get a problem and place it in the right context. In Scene 4, the AI only got one instruction: create an image based on a date plus longitude and latitude. If you've seen my earlier test, then what GPT Image 2.0 does here really feels like a huge jump forward. OpenAI is now fully catching up with the Nano Banana series in this area. To be fair, Google's Image AI has already been seriously strong here for quite a while, and all 3 platforms also managed to deliver that explicitly requested paparazzi vibe, that grabbed-in-the-moment quick-shot look. I could also make a direct comparison to Midjourney's still unmatched image aesthetic, like in Scene 5, and say that OpenAI and Google are clearly trying, but they still don't really dare to show the dents and rough edges of real life the way Midjourney does again and again in its own league. Compared to that, GPT Image 2.0 and Nano Banana both feel softer and way more polished. And this scene also shows something else: generation time, which honestly speaks more in favour of Midjourney. Interestingly, even though Google kind of suggested otherwise, Nano Banana Pro actually gives you a finished result faster. The almost 84 seconds of GPT Image 2.0 in thinking mode already feels like forever. For a fast creative workflow, which matters a lot to me, that's honestly a bit of a mood killer. Just use standard mode instead, and you're down to around 27 seconds. I could also show how ridiculously easy it is to build pretty interesting screens, banners, or cover images for apps and games, and how differently these image AI models interpret prompts. The fun part in this example, Scene 6, is that I always write my prompts with one custom part and one fixed part. That way, I can turn a shapeshifter, an archer, and a spearfighter into a druid, a swordsman, and a rogue pretty much at the push of a button, in whatever style and under whatever title I want. But you can also see here that GPT Image 2.0 tends to overdo it a little. Sometimes it really is a bit much, and I could also show, like in Scene 7, where GPT Image 2.0 runs into real trouble. No matter how many times I told it to turn a photo into an isometric 3D rendering, Nano Banana 2 and Pro were simply on another level. And honestly, I'm really into those results. A normal photographic moment, like the image in the upper right, which is from my latest trip to Australia, suddenly becomes this small, tangible object that opens up all kinds of new options for further use. But none of that is actually what this tutorial is about. This is about something much more basic: and honestly, much more useful for my own workflow. Because this time, I don't want to use AI to generate brand new images. I want to use AI as a kind of catalyst for working with my own unchanged photos. Let me tell you a small story. If you travel a lot and actually enjoy it, like I do, you probably know this scene pretty well. Everywhere you go, people are holding up phones or walking around with cameras ready to fire. Clicking, snapping, buzzing, shooting, on hikes at the beach, in football stadiums, at parties, in hotels, at airports, in zoos. By the end of a trip like that, the storage on these devices is packed. And the result looks something like this. Most of the time, correct me if I'm wrong, these files end up on a hard drive somewhere and then just disappear into digital storage limbo. Because there's no time left or the amount of material is just way too much. I'm a designer through and through, but even I simply don't have the time. To really stage this properly, you would need to go through the photos, choose the crops, write texts and headlines, and then build the whole thing properly in the right design software. So during my 27-hour flight back from Australia, with a stopover of course, one thought kept flying along with me, and it was basically this. Hey, why not just use GPT Image 2.0 for that? My goal, a multi-page travel book. So what do we need? Step 1. Use ChatGPT to create a master prompt. Take the design of a book, brochure, or magazine that you like, upload it to the platform, and tell the AI something like this. Please analyze the key design characteristics and create a master prompt that helps me build my own book. The prompt needs to be general enough so that I only have to upload images, but also specific enough to define the format, typeface, typography style, colors, image spacing, and possible extras like maps, icons, or similar details. I will only give the AI a selection of images and your master prompt. Do you understand? The result is what I call a master prompt. And if you want to play it safe, you can test that master prompt first without using any real image references. Since the AI has no image material to work with, it will generate placeholder images and create results like these. And then you can tell pretty quickly, okay, yes, this works. What you see here is basically what the AI learned from my references and translated into its own design. And if the first draft is not quite where you want it to be, just refine that step and describe what you want changed, always based on the first master prompt. Step 2. Now take some images from your archive. I picked 6 fitting shots from one single day here and upload them to ChatGPT together with the master prompt. Then switch on GPT Image 2.0 in thinking mode. And what comes out of that, I can only call seriously inspiring. If you want more pages, just use the same master prompt again, but this time with different images. You can keep doing that until you run out of pictures, or until you're too tired to even hit the keyboard anymore. And as you can see in these 4 double-page spreads, GPT Image 2.0 is crazy creative and pretty individual. Even with the same master prompt, every spread looks different, shaped by my images. And keep in mind, my job here was basically just uploading the photos. The amount of time you save this way is honestly kind of insane, especially when I think about how long it would normally take to place all the images properly and then find the right crops for each one. And of course, this also works with more unusual designs. Just use a different reference layout you like and have the AI write a new master prompt for that. And when I go with this alternative route, this is what I get. Honestly, pretty impressive stuff. For comparison, I tried the exact same workflow with the Nano Banana series. And this is the result. To be honest, lifeless and kind of phoned in is probably the best way to describe it. And on top of that, the format is completely off. I'm not even going to get started on the text or the messed up maps. As much as I like what GPT Image 2.0 can do here, there are still a few limitations with this kind of workflow. Quality and consistency, for example. And for print, this is not really ready at all. You still need to get your hands dirty yourself, or hand it off to a pro working in Adobe InDesign, Affinity Designer, or something similar. Otherwise, once you're holding the printed result in your hands, there's a good chance you'll run into a few surprises you really did not ask for. Sure, you could say, hey, there are templates for that on Envato or Etsy, or you could say just use Canva or something like it. And yes, that's true. But here I very deliberately wanted to go the other way around and let myself be inspired by what the AI sees and what it does, without changing my images. That is the key point here. And if you know me, you know I've been working as a professional designer for globally known brands for 25 years. AI has changed a lot in my day-to-day work, no question. But the core philosophy stays exactly the same. And do it with your own creativity, with AI or without it. Just a quick look at how this actually works. And honestly, this is also a pretty good example of what working with AI means these days. When I started this tutorial, the model selection features were still in the upper left. Now they are integrated into the prompt bar. Why? Only the developers know. Dear friends, just as a tiny hint, this is a very effective way to annoy your users. But anyway, open the ChatGPT website and choose Instant or Thinking on the right side of the prompt bar. Just keep in mind that thinking takes roughly 3 times as long as instant mode. Then either click the Create an Image button below the prompt bar or simply type Create an Image into the input field yourself. If you use the button, you can also choose from different presets. There are a few pretty popular themes in there. After that, just hit the arrow and wait for your image. For me, GPT Image 2.0 helps sort things out. And it does that with some cool first draft text ideas and small little nuances. In a competitive workflow, that definitely gives me a bit of an edge. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for listening. See you soon. Your channel, AI Now You Know.